You are welcome to the fifth episode of the journey so far. It is a special documentary in preparation for the dedication of the sanctuary. I believe you are going to be blessed. Thank you once again. You are welcome to the fifth episode of the journey so far. This is a special documentary in preparation for the forthcoming dedication of the sanctuary. Today, I'm going to talk about how Fortress was born. Fortress is exactly a little above 10 years today. Fortress was born about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was 19 years in ministry, 19 years old as a pastor in Church of God Mission. And I and my wife felt the need to pray. There was a burden to seek the face of God and to fast. So we went on a 40 days fast, and we took the church along with us. We were seeking the face of God for direction, for his leadership, for the will of God to be done in our lives. At the end of the 40 days fast, it became very clear that a new work was going to be born, and we were ordained by God to pioneer that work. At this time in my ministry journey, I have grown from a pioneer pastor to a national presbyter. Things were getting better. I have a bigger office. My economic life was becoming a little bit stable. At least by this time, I can boast of a good salary. I wasn't ready to start a new work. I know what it means to start a new work. I have been in the pioneering business in many occasions. So I did not want, it was not an excitement to me. But we made up our minds that we are going to obey the Lord. A lot of events unfolded, which I'm not going to mention here. But the events paved the way for the work to start. On the 6th of March 2011, the first service was held at 300 Waniba Road with about 28 worshippers in attendance. Almost 70% of those who came that day, they came out of a sense of curiosity to find out what was going on. So we had 28 people, including children, who were in attendance that day. And a week after that, the attendance dropped to 12. And from the 12 that were remaining, God began to build himself a place. How did we get a place of worship? When we became aware, I and my wife became aware that it was time to start a new work. We did the necessary paperwork to leave the old ministry. And we didn't have any money. There was no money. No money to pay for the place of rent. No money to buy even a single chair. No money to buy even a microphone. We were just at zero level. Everything was going to be done by faith. We made up our mind. We were not going to ask anybody for financial help. And we were not going to beg anybody for a place of worship. If this work is of God, God is going to make room for him. Just few days after that, a couple walked into our house. They just came to visit us. And this was the couple. The husband had kidney failure in 2005. And he was about to be rolled in for dialysis. We asked the doctors to give us about 2 days. We prayed and sought the face of God for 3 days. God answered the prayer, revived his kidneys, healed him completely, and he is alive. And he walked into our place and offered the building. The building in question, I was the one who laid the foundation of that building in the year 2005. Freely. It was an uncompleted building. No roof, no doors, and no windows. Even the floor was not done. That was where we started. It was indeed a humble beginning. It was humbling. We started from there. And from there, God did mighty things. It's been 10 years of the faithfulness of God. And in these 10 years, the first building of the ministry was completed under a year. 1st of December 2012, that building was dedicated and we moved in. After a while, because of the growth, we were having 3 services and overflow outside. It became very, very uncomfortable to hold services there. We began to trust the Lord for another building. So right now, the second building, which is bigger and more spacious, is about to be dedicated. And that is the reason for this documentary. Apart from the two buildings, God blessed the ministry with a massive expanse of land, which we call the campground, for future development of the ministry and the educational trust of the ministry. All this happened in 10 years. What I would say is that God built his church and God is still building his church. We are just instruments in the house of God. All the glory and all the honor belongs to Jesus. Tomorrow, I will share with you the specific influences that shaped Fortress of Hope Gospel Center. And you will see the driving forces behind the commission and the individuals that God brought our way that served as fuel and as propellers to where we are today. I believe you are going to be blessed. Please share this message. Let a young minister somewhere be inspired by this message. Let a minister somewhere learn a lesson through our story. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Till tomorrow.